Okay, I think I'm just gonna like try to talk, but I don't know, I'm not very good at articulating things verbally. I'm a lot better at writing them out, but I'll probably cut this however I feel like it. But yeah, I graduated from art school like 6 months ago. I went to UCLA Art. It was like one of the top art programs, public art programs in the US. And I'm unemployed as fuck. And my mind has just been like racing and racing and racing recently, trying to figure out what I want to do. And I don't know, I just feel so overwhelmed constantly with like all the different like narratives and like life perspectives that are like constantly being thrown out at me. I was born and raised in San Jose. I come from a very run-of-the-mill East Asian suburban family. I'm second gen. My parents immigrated here for like grad school and then like went into tech, and now they're both software engineers. So growing up, I was like really like fed the story of success through hard work and pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, rags to riches. And being like the rebellious gay teenager that I was, I did not want that life for myself. So I decided that I was going to become an art major when I went to college. And looking back on it, I don't know, it's hard to say that I regret it, because it was also like, because the past 4 years of my life have been awesome. I've met like so many cool people. I have like so much love and community in my life that I wouldn't have had if I like didn't choose this alternative life path. But at the same time, I feel very selfish and guilty for the stress that it puts on my parents. I think because I grew up in such a tech bubble and had like STEM education shoved down my throat from literally the moment I was born, and the idea of like going to school and like having a career was like so prominent throughout my entire life. Like my parents had me stressed out about getting into college when I was in like 5th grade. And I don't think that's how like any child should live. And they chilled out over the years, which is why I was able to go to art school in the first place. But I don't know, I had a really good time in college. But at the same time, the coming out of school with like no stability and like no career prospects, like not even like having like feeling like I have any like applicable skills to like even like get like an entry level position or internship is just like really like mind boggling to me. And then this guilt comes back because I like go home to see my parents like every like winter break and summer, and I also see like my handful of high school friends that I still have left, and they're all like, if not making 6 figures, like still like full-time like employed and like getting a foot in the door for whatever industry or respective major they studied in college. And it makes me feel really shitty and naive. I think naive is like the best word, because I don't know, I think being so idealistic and hugging onto these like anti-capitalist values and like not dreaming of labor, I think honestly, like as like when you're 18 is like pretty harmful because like yes, like two things can be true. You can like be anti-capitalist while also like having like stability and like building a career for yourself throughout life, because you need to survive, and there's nothing wrong with doing something to make sure that you survive to an extent. And that's something that like my dad has like tried to like hammer within me like over and over again, but I kind of like didn't really listen to him, and now I'm like feeling a lot of guilt for that. Yeah, I've been like really anxious lately because my parents are retiring in like 3 months, and that means I don't have health insurance. I won't have health insurance, and I'm not about to pay out of pocket for health insurance because that shit is like $300 a month. So I need to find a big girl job if I want to have my teeth cleaned, and for when my nicotine addicted past starts reaping the consequences of it. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that you really shouldn't consider going to art school straight out of high school unless you're interested in learning a skill that will get you into an art-related industry, or you're interested in commodifying your art. And that really depends on, that also really like depends on like the art program that you choose. I wasn't really interested in either, which made UCLA art perfect for me. Well, because it is a purely conceptual and theoretical contemporary program, so they don't actually like teach you any like technical skills on like how to draw, or like how to render, how to paint, how to throw on a wheel. Well, you could learn how to throw on a wheel if you like wanted to, but it's like not emphasized. The program is there to teach you how to like think about art and how to like understand art history and like the canon of contemporary art, and by design like churn you through that same canon so you can contribute to the very like insular world and field that is fine arts. And obviously only like a select few make it, and it's like really nepotism and like wealth based, and you're going to have a hard time if you're a minority, or not like the token minority that gets like the hand of representation fed to you. And I don't know, I went into art school like thinking I wanted that life. Like I really did enjoy the academic side of the art program, and I went in thinking like, oh, I'm going to go do a master's in fine arts after this, and like start getting, and like hopefully get like gallery representation as like move up the ladder of residencies. But this is definitely something I could do, and I know that like I'm smart enough, I'm well read enough to do, but I feel at the end of the day I got like really interested in art, and my most important like experience throughout my art education these past 4 years is the social aspect of it, is like the making friends, being surrounded by a community of creators. But I feel like my community doesn't really have that much overlap with the art world. It's a lot more social media and internet subculture based, and I think I want to like stay in that and like lean into that, because that's my audience, those are my friends, and that's who I care to reach more than like white people who are looking to like drop like 50 bands on a decoration for their fireplace. So yeah, I guess that's why like I've been like going crazy because as non-linear as an art career is, like the pipeline of like going into the gallery world is like a pretty like linear effort, and coming out of art school I realized that's like not really what I wanted for myself anymore. And then I'm like, damn, like I should have listened to my parents and like not went to art school, because this shit is like it makes you like woke. Art school makes you like so like contrarian and like polemic and like critical of like everything, to the point where you end up doing nothing. And I think that's like what really like kills creativity. And I have a lot of like creative friends who like did not come from traditional fine art backgrounds, and the way they talk about art is just like so much more like earnest and like honestly like raw to me than a lot of like the art speak that I was constantly surrounded by in school, and also I participated in, because like I like sounding smart and shit. But yeah, it's a tough one. Like, I think like me personally, like I was not built for art to be like my full-time thing, to be my career, for it to like be my means of living, and for it to be commodified. Personally, like I don't create art that often. I'm not like a person that like lives and breathes art. Like I always say this to like when I talk about my practice, like I'm a good artist in the way that I make good art. I'm not very good at being an artist, and that's like a very different thing, because I feel like being an artist is to like be constantly like tapped. Like being an artist, like creating things like comes like naturally to you. Like it's like your means of like breathing. And for me, it honestly feels like a chore a lot of the time. Like I think I excel in art in the way that like I see art as like a puzzle of like, how can I best like manipulate something, whether it be like images or words or like something like containing like the other five senses, to like, communicate something that I want to be known to the rest of the world. I like the way it allows me to show people how I think, but that doesn't mean that I like doing it all the time. And I feel like someone who's never gone to art school and like literally just has like journals every day, like jots down like random shit and like does like sketches like every day is a better artist than I am. And yeah, and that's very, very like, I don't know, like bonk to like hear myself say after I went to fucking art school, like 4-year art school. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, after going through like all this entire like cerebral like woke studies, I would have been a lot happier just drawing anime girls like on the side. Like I'd be happier, I'd be employed. Like, oh my god. In another lifetime, I am a boba drinking, Discord using, Valorant playing Asian in like tech or like business, and I make gay anime commissions on the side. Like that would be the ideal version of myself, but instead I chose to be like trans and like alternative and like sceney. I don't even know what the fuck that means anymore. life. My art program, it was like hammered into us that like contemporary art is like not concerned with its commodification, or in fact the commodification of a work leads to its detriment to like create like social change. And I don't know, like nice to like make art in its purest form in that way, but that's not how the world works. And unless you're like a big name in the art world, like that type of art is not gonna get you anywhere. And I don't know, that's why it's like it's so hard to like learn about this stuff within like an institution that is meant to profit off of you. Like I want to do something that's like still like ethical while also like in line with my values, but that's so hard in this day and age. And I'm beginning to like falter and accept that I have to sell out if I want to survive, and that's okay, which is what like my parents were telling me from the start. So, I don't know, it's like hard to listen to anything your parents say when they like don't understand like queerness or like gender roles, or just like basic like sociology, like 101 concepts about like, I don't know, the fucking model minority like bottleneck. But I've grown to realize that these two things can like go hand in hand with each other. Like they can have like skewed perceptions about one thing, but also be like correct and like realistic about another. And this is one of those cases. And I will concede that to my parents. So thank you. Where am I going from here? I don't know. I've never been a Reddit user. Never understood why people were so addicted to Reddit, but this past month, it's been like a godsend, and it's been my entire screen time, and I like totally get it now. It's like Google for like, but like anytime that you have like a really niche like scenario or like question that like Google can't answer, you just type Reddit. Like it's so good. But I've been like scouring like every single like Reddit sub-thread about career paths and like whatnot. So yeah, I'm like, should I go to law school? Should I go to coding bootcamp, become like a software engineer? Just kidding. Should I go into finance, like into like get an accounting degree or some shit? And I've landed on I should probably get into like digital marketing, because like my interests and like my livelihood, like my community, like all like centers around social media, and I would probably like start a brand someday in the future when I have like the means to. And knowing like digital marketing will like very much like help that. And I've been thinking like, if I hadn't gone this like art route, it would have made a lot of sense to just study something that had nothing to do with any of this art shit at all. Maybe it should have been like pre-med or some shit, gone to like phlebotomy school, whatever. But where was I going with that? Oh yeah, just like something like completely unrelated to like art or like social media or like internet or connecting or anything, just so I could like breathe and like do this like creative stuff with like no pressure and like no stakes. But yeah, thanks for listening. If any of you guys are watching and can relate, let me know. And yeah.